The Buffalo Bills are 4-2 in first place in the AFC East, the only team in what we expected to perhaps be the best division in football entering this year with a winning record. The New York Jets are 2-4. Joe, we'll talk about the Jets for a good majority of this 10-minute segment. So let's start with Buffalo. Again, they started the year 3-0. They looked dreadful offensively in 2 consecutive losses, banged up on that side of the football, and were last night. Enter Ray Davis, the rookie out of Kentucky. What a huge night. Nearly 100 yards on the ground. Was Buffalo's leading receiver with 55 yards. At the end of the game, the Bills win in MetLife. A huge divisional contest. Buffalo is 4-2, 2-0 in the AFC East. They sit in first place in the division. They will look to win the divisional crown for a 5th consecutive year. And now greater than a $3 favorite at minus 340 to do so. Joe, overall this year, the question will not be the Bills being a double-digit win team, making the playoffs, heck, even winning the AFC East for a 5th season in a row. It will be a team built, as you can see there, pun very much intended, moving past the AFC divisional round into the AFC championship and perhaps a Super Bowl appearance for the first time in 3 decades. Do you believe this Bills team, as currently constructed, is on a path to do that?
They got a lot of things to clear up here because, that was a ridiculous performance by them. Yes, it was good enough to beat the Jets, but let's face it, the Jets are terrible. Not to mention they had just fired their head coach during the week on a trip back from London. So not a good showing there. Ultimately, Josh Allen saved you when it mattered the most, which is why you have him. But the number of penalties, the allowing a Hail Mary touchdown at the end of the first half, inexcusable here. Congratulations on the win. But as the competition gets better, and we noticed, man, this is, fortunate for the Bills, somebody's got to win this division, right? And looking at the other teams in the division right now, the Bills, well, you probably have won enough games already to run away with this. But that doesn't mean you're going to get by Baltimore. It doesn't mean you're going to get by New England. They got to get a lot better in a lot of other areas here, Ben, as the season moves on for me to consider them a contender in any way, shape, or form.
And, Joe, the Bills have moved back after their 3-0 start. They were neck and neck with Kansas City atop the AFC. Baltimore has won 4 straight games. They are 4-2, second best price for the Ravens, much like it looked like before the year got underway. Those top 2 teams from the odds perspective in the AFC. Then Buffalo at plus 490, only about a half buck behind the Houston Texans at plus 550. Then a dramatic drop-off in a conference that we expected to be the gauntlet. Now the NFC looks to be that side of the league. 17-1 is the 5th best price to win the AFC championship. It's the 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals. But, Joe, we showed you the AFC East odds. Buffalo now a minus 340 favorite. Based on track record and pedigree in this division, all right, it makes sense. This Buffalo team, still with Josh Allen, has won the AFC East 4 straight seasons. But they weren't the favorites entering this year to win yet another AFC East crown. It was the odds optimism backing Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, who now, as you can see, second best price, but at 5-1. We're still not sure, even when Tua Tagovailoa is eligible to return, what it means for Miami. 3rd best number, and frankly, the Patriots are a 1-5 football team and look about as competitive as we expected, as we thought entering the year. We'll get to the Jets in just a second. So now, Joe, with the focus on New York, squandering yet another opportunity last night. The Jets have a win total updated of 7.5. The playoff price is plus 164. That was probably bare minimum, even after the change in the coaching room to fire Robert Saleh, to elevate Todd Downing. You had to snap the 13-year playoff drought, which made Monday night, yesterday in MetLife, that much more significant, even in Week 6. For whatever reason, the Jets come up short. They are a losing football team that often finds ways to actively squander a lead and lose a golden opportunity. Joe, what is your outlook for the New York Jets? Just how big of a blow was the loss last night to Buffalo?
It's a huge blow. And I think, Josh Allen had said it afterward. It's a big difference sitting 4-2 up 2 games here and already have one against the Jets in the books, as opposed to sitting in second place 3-3 and being 0-1 against the Jets. It was a huge game for the future of the AFC East. And he said it right. Our goal is to make the playoffs. And the easiest way to do that is to win the division. It's a winnable division. And whoever won that game last night was going to have a leg up on doing just that. And unfortunately for the Jets, they had everything going in their direction. Motivation, changes. They have Aaron Rodgers. They got everything they needed in order to win that game, except, one team was able to make enough plays to win it, which shows, to me, experience, and it shows that you have a quarterback that understands the situation. You got to win games during the season, Ben, that you're not at your best. You just win and you get the hell out. And that's what the Bills did, and the Jets are still looking for that win this year. And before you know it, the season could be over before they actually get one.
And we'll see, right? The Jets are a road favorite in the Steel City. Sunday Night Football again with eyeballs, attention, and notoriety in prime time again for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. It's a slight 1.5 spread in favor of New York, minus 118 on the money line against the Steelers team that is also a winning football team at 4-2. The Jets are 2-4. Joe, they have been an underdog since the start of the Robert Saleh era, which I guess is no longer continuing over in East Rutherford. Since the start of 2021, they have been an underdog, including last night, in 45 of 57 total potential games. In those 45, because last night was basically a money line bet. If you wanted to take a 1.5, you didn't cover there either. They are 13-32 straight up, including 0-3 straight up as an underdog this year. Also 0-3 against the spread as an underdog. They're 17-28 ATS as a dog in that span. They have not been a winning football team. Frankly, for most of the past 3.5 years, they have not been a competitive football team. And sure, Aaron Rodgers is there, and there's a lot of offensive talent, and the defense looks okay, but maybe not elite at this current juncture against a short-handed Bills team. Buffalo still was able to manage that football game. I just don't know where you look to the Jets right now and say, this is where I feel optimistic. Yeah, they've given up some opportunities they should have had, but this is why when the year is done, at the end of 18 weeks, they're going to be a winning football team. I don't know how you find that right now with the New York Jets, and I'm not sure what that reason for hope could even potentially be.
Ben, I'm with you. I don't know where the Jets go from here. They have, and you had said it, this is a team that pretty much has given away in their last 3 losses, right? They've pretty much given away the games here. This team should be sitting, Ben, with at least 2 more wins. They should be 4-2 at worst in this particular spot, and we'd be having a totally different conversation. But we're not, and we're not because the Jets are not a consistent football team, and yet here we are heading into Week 7, and we can't rely on all 3 facets of the game showing up in one game. And last night it was the defense took a step back, the offense took a step forward, special teams disappeared. Can't have it, Ben, heading into Week 7. You just can't trust them.
Truly, you cannot, Joe. I think that's a great assessment. March of 2023, Aaron Rodgers emerges out of the darkness and says he wants to play for the New York Jets. All of the drama that has followed in the last 20 months on or off the field has resulted in a team right now that is 2-4 in favor to miss the playoffs for a 14th consecutive year. Is it worth it? That will be a question for a later date. Welcome to hour number 2, live right here on this Tuesday on the early line on SportsGrid. He is Drew Ranieri. I am Ben Stevens. 2 more hours to go and so much to dive into. Joe, one of the beautiful things about Tuesday, 1 week comes to a close in the National Football League. That was Week 7. The opening third of this NFL campaign, a new week is on the horizon. The guys back in the facility, coaches in front of microphones before we get into practice starting tomorrow. tomorrow. So many updates to bring you around the National Football League. We've got game 2 tonight of the American League Championship Series in the Bronx between the Yankees and the Guardians. It's Tanner Bybee and it's Garrett Cole. The Pinstripes, a hefty home favorite. Can they take a 2-0 series lead to the land, or will Bybee outdeal Cole and the Guardians even up this set at a game apiece? Our guy Jack McMullen will join us later on in this second hour for all of our October questions around MLB playoff baseball. So much to get into here, Joe, in this second hour, with one more hour on the other side up until 11 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting here. I mean, especially in this game coming up with the Yankees and the Guardians. You can't go down 2-0 if you're the Guardians, I think, and realistically expect to get this thing back to 7 games, 6 or 7 games. I just don't see that happening. So I think this is, I don't want to say must win, but I do feel like with your ace on the mound, this is going to be the game they have to win.
Yeah, big time. And Tanner Bybee is that ace, right? Everybody still standing has gone through some sort of injury attrition. But, of course, Shane Bieber, the former American League Cy Young winner, was out from the very early juncture of this year for the Guardians. All right, NFL news now around the National Football League. Joe, in the closing minutes of our show yesterday, I shared this update, but it is worth a lengthier discussion. Tua Tagovailoa still on injured reserve. His football future has been in question. We haven't really heard from Tagovailoa. We have heard from Mike McDaniel as he has asked just everybody to give the Tagovailoa family and the Dolphins organization time and space to make this crucial decision. For the first time, McDaniel meeting with the media after the Dolphins bye week yesterday, saying that Tua Tagovailoa is expected to play once again in 2024. Tua remains on injured reserve, but is eligible to return a week from tomorrow. His practice window opens up. He could return to the football field in a game anytime from that point and beyond. Again, Joe, I will just say this, right? We know 3 documented concussions for Tua Tagovailoa in the last 2+ years. But the decision, his future in football, is his and his family alone, in conjunction with the medical staff and, of course, Miami as an organization. So if he is going to return, we wish him the best. We'll see what it means for the Dolphins in actual games the remainder of the way.
I mean, listen, it is ultimately his call, right? No, you're not going to be surprised, right? You understand, as long as you understand the risks, Ben, of what's at stake here. If him and his family ultimately decide, if McDaniels and the organization decide it's worth the risk, then he will be eligible to be activated and to begin practicing on October 23rd at the earliest. Yep. The question is, Ben, is it too late at that point? Are the Dolphins at that point pretty much eliminated from any sort of postseason opportunity? And then is it worth him coming back in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, Joe, it is really interesting, right? So Miami off the bye last week. They had eked out a victory over the Patriots in Foxborough, 15-10 in week number 5. The offense has looked atrocious. Whether it's Skylar Thompson or Snoop Huntley, the Wonder Boy and Mike McDaniel has not risen to the occasion like some of his peers and buddies have to work with less to make something even look prolific on the offensive side. But Miami is 2-3, and we'll discuss their overall outlook in a second. But here is what they have before Tagovailoa can even return a week from tomorrow. They take on the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday on the road in Indy. The Colts, a 3.5-point home favorite. The week following, they take on the Arizona Cardinals. Tua Tagovailoa could technically play in that game. We'll see. We did learn, Joe, a couple of weeks ago that despite how scary the incident was in week 2, short week Thursday night football game against Buffalo, pretty quickly after, Tua Tagovailoa was not exhibiting any symptoms from a concussion, which was a good sign. We'll see if he's back to end out October, because the following week is a matchup against the Buffalo Bills in a crucial divisional game.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, absolutely huge. But you've got, fingers crossed here that this is all going to work out. But I thought for sure, Ben, they would have been able to rack up a couple of more wins. I did not anticipate them being this poor without him on the field. And, by the time the 23rd comes around this month, who knows what can happen here. But if you're the Dolphins, you got to start planning for the future, don't you? Regardless, minus Tua at some point.
And Joe, that's the interesting thing, right? Where you're kind of in that limbo area. You have just given Tua Tagovailoa a very, very large contract extension, a little bit more than $53 million before this year got underway. So you are contractually tied to your quarterback, who you hope, if he can remain healthy, is the future of the franchise. But as we have often said, this is not a shoulder, it's not an elbow, it's not a knee, it's not an ankle, it's not a hip. It's a head injury. And there is still so much uncertain around the future beyond this year if Tua Tagovailoa comes back and how healthy he remains. And if it's not going to be Tua, because, again, a couple of more injuries, maybe just one more head injury, could sideline him for the remainder of his career. We don't really want to project out like that, but it just kind of is the reality. The Dolphins then are left in this limbo and gray area where you've got a lot of offensive pieces in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and you've got Devon Achane in the backfield. You've got all these pieces that should be successful, and you are not in Mike McDaniel's third year. Joe, the good thing, though, is for Miami, we expected the AFC East to be a gauntlet of a division. It's not. The Bills are the only team with a winning record. We expected the AFC as a whole to be a gauntlet of a conference. Heck, it was going to take you 10, maybe 11 wins to even earn a wild card berth in this conference. It is not so far. There are only 6 teams after week 6 out of the 16 in the AFC that have a winning record. And Joe, only 5 of those 6 are multiple games above 500 or better. So even at 2-3, even you could lump in the New York Jets or the Bengals, both at 2-4, who had playoff optimism before the year. There is still a hope in this conference, even after a sub-500 beginning.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're going to have to, all these teams have done now, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bengals, is here we are sitting right in the middle of October, and all room for error goes right out the window, Ben. So the only thing you can do is just keep winning games and see, and hopefully things will break your way and other teams will come back to the pack. But right now, the room for error on any of these 2-win teams is slim to absolutely none at this point.
Joe, when you look at the AFC playoff odds right now, we've got the divisional winners that are very hefty favorites, or the divisional favorites, I should say, that are hefty favorites to win their division, hefty favorites to see the postseason. The Chiefs in the AFC West, the Texans in the AFC South, the Ravens currently in the AFC North, and, of course, the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. The only non-divisional favorite or team in first place that has a minus or 2 minus money prices are the Steelers at minus 144 and the Chargers at minus 134. The Bengals have the 7th best price at plus 114. The Bengals are 2-4. But that 7th best price would be what would then correspond to the 7th spot in the conference standings in those playoff odds. We'll continue to go around the NFL next. Some news around the National Football League bright and early on this Tuesday following the end of Week 6. Of course, the New York Jets have meant drama for the last 20 months, whether it's Aaron Rodgers' on-field performances or guys still trying to get in the facility. That's Hassan Reddick, who the Jets traded for in the offseason, who has been holding out, who is not suited up for gangrene yet during his time as technically a member of this New York organization. Over the weekend, Hassan Reddick changed representation, now signing with famed sports agent Drew Rosenhaus. The Jets, according to the Athletic's Diana Rossini, have given Reddick and his reps a short window to seek yet another trade. Drew Rosenhaus reportedly has been reaching out to organizations over the last 12 hours or so to gauge interest into Hassan Reddick. It's weird, Joe, to say that Hassan Reddick could be a difference maker for a team he has never even played a single snap for. So I'm not sure how much Jets fans are like, oh man, we miss that guy or want that guy. But he is a playmaker defensively. He has had double-digit sacks each of the past 4 years in the NFL. Where do you think Hassan Reddick ends up, if at all, anywhere this season?
Well, the guy had 1 year left on the contract when he was traded from Philadelphia. He says he was promised a multi-year deal. The Jets say that's not what we promised. We told you we would guarantee you $14.5 million, give you a 1 year deal, and basically give you an opportunity to re-sign you or you become a free agent in 2025. And yet now he's $5 million in the hole because he hasn't reported. He keeps getting docked through the first 6 weeks of the season. CAA goes, see you, dude. Like, we ain't making any money here. You're not even willing to budge. And now Drew Rosenhaus steps in, and somehow Rosenhaus is supposed to be able to get, I don't think the Jets to come to the table. I think he's got to convince Hassan Reddick that, listen, man, you got to show nobody is going to give you a multi-year deal without you having played a snap now. And how long? It ain't going to happen. So the question to me is whether Rosenhaus can get Hassan Reddick to get all his money back that he's lost, guarantee his $14.5 million this year, and give him an opportunity to sign at the end of the year. Because if I'm the Jets, why am I giving him a multi-year deal? I've not seen him play a down of football yet. Plus, he's 30 years old here. Makes no sense for the Jets at all at this point.
Joe, you mentioned this as we were breaking down the game. The Jets are still the second best total defense in the NFL in terms of yardage allowed, 273. They're really good against the pass. Josh Allen did go over his prop last night, but only 215 yards despite being 19 of 25, clean and efficient football. They have not been great against the run either this year or a year ago. Sweet baby Ray Davis, the rookie out of Kentucky, 20 carries last night, 97 yards. Ty Johnson, 4 carries for 34 yards. Ray Davis, the rookie, 55 yards through the air as well as a receiver last night. Listen, I don't think the Jets' defense is the reason they are on a 3-game losing skid. Hassan Reddick would benefit the Jets, you would think, just from an impact perspective on the defensive side of the football. He would probably make some sort of impact. But, Joe, again, it's just kind of further into the drama the Jets have seen. They traded for a guy that wanted a new contract in Philadelphia. The Eagles said, despite him being close to home, having grown up in Camden, New Jersey, playing his college football at Temple, being a key component of a Philly team that made the Super Bowl 2 seasons prior, the Eagles said, listen, man, we're not paying you, but go ahead. We'll try to work with you to find a trade partner. The Jets are like, hey, pick us. But Hassan Reddick's like, okay, great. I want a new contract. And yet the two sides have remained this far apart. You can blame whoever you want. It just goes to show it's another weird deal the Jets front office has been a part of in many. We'll see where Hassan Reddick ends up, if at all, this year. All right, Joe, now elsewhere around the National Football League, there hasn't been many worse quarterbacks in the NFL over the past 3 seasons than Deshaun Watson. And I'm not just saying that from what my eyes see or the guy's character based on his performance. Stefanski yesterday, that's head coach Kevin Stefanski of this Browns organization, meeting with the media, reiterating that he believes Deshaun Watson gives them the best chance to win Sunday. And he is sticking with his quarterback. Kevin Stefanski, we know you don't believe that. Joe Flacco led you guys to the postseason last year. It's the front office and it's the owner, Jimmy Haslam, saying, listen, I gave this guy $230 million fully guaranteed. He needs to be out there. He needs to earn his paycheck. And by earn, it means just play, not be good. Because, Joe, Deshaun Watson, calling him mediocre would be the highest compliment he has received in 2 years. This guy has been awful. When you look at the QBR for Watson this year, it is abysmal. It is 21.5 out of the 31 qualified quarterbacks in the NFL. That is dead last in his span in the National Football League over the last 3 years with Cleveland. He has been near the bottom of every single statistical category for NFL quarterbacks. It has been awful to see. In 6 games for the Browns this year, Cleveland is 1-5. Deshaun Watson has not thrown for more than 200 yards in any of those 6 games. Some of it is on him. Some of it is on the offensive line. Regardless, Joe, it has not worked, and Cleveland is in the gutter.
It's just awful on so many levels. Yeah, I mean, it's historically awful. We're talking about also a quarterback now in Deshaun Watson that has been sacked 31 times. That is 11 more than the next closest quarterback who has been sacked. That is absolutely unbelievable through 6 weeks of the season here, Ben? No 300-yard offense game. No, nothing. They can't even score 20 points in a game. And again, we can blame him, sure. But when you have a quarterback getting sacked 31 times, you have got offensive issues here, a lot of offensive issues. And I don't know Jameis Winston's going to be any better. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I don't know where Cleveland goes from here, Joe, but another component of the AFC North and really the conference as a whole, where many thought this team was a playoff contender. The win total is now 4.5. 4.5 from 8.5 in the preseason. More around the NFL comes your way up next. Elsewhere around football, both in the NFL and then some quarterback news in college football. Nick Sirianni, Joe, at the end of an Eagles win emerging out of a bye week as an 8.5-point favorite against Deshaun Watson and the Browns. They win the game 20-16. It was tied under 10 minutes remaining in regulation in the fourth quarter. Starts jawing with fans in the stands, pretty much getting mad at them for booing his stagnant offense midway through the game. After the game, he said that he was just excited for a win. Ha ha ha. It's Philadelphia. The fans hate the team and the players, but yeah, they still win, whatever it might be. Sirianni yesterday apologizing for his behavior. Quote, I was trying to bring energy yesterday, energy and enthusiasm, and I'm sorry and disappointed on how my energy was directed at the end of the game. My energy should be all in on coaching, motivating, celebrating with our guys. I've got to have better wisdom and discernment of when to use that energy, end quote. And then, after the game, he brings his kids with him to the podium, as he often does, making it difficult for the reporters to ask those hard-hitting questions. Joe, Philly is 3-2. The Philadelphia Eagles had the third best price to win the NFC, or fourth best price, rather, to win the NFC at this moment. They are they are a 3-2 team in the NFC East that is still booked as the favorites, even in front of the 4-2 Washington Commanders. And yet it is the least optimistic 3-2 football team off a win that you might ever see. There's not a lot of confidence right now that this Eagles team is destined to do what is the expectation. That's contend for a conference crown in the NFC.
There was maybe the most least authentic apology I have ever seen, Ben, ever. Sirianni, I can promise you this, not only is he not sorry, it's also not going to be the last time he does something like this. Let us not forget, he did this after a Kansas City Chiefs win back in week 11 last year. Making sure that he went at the crowd in the stands there, telling them, see you later, and going after the fans. He does. That's who he is. How in the hell you're a head coach in the NFL and you are concentrated more on what they're saying in the stands than what's going on in the field may be part of the problem, Ben. But this is who he is. The idea that self-reflecting, you're not a 21-year-old rookie here, guy. You're a head coach of a National Football League, and you've done this before, and I'm telling you, Ben, he'll do it again when it matters the most. The next time, it'll probably be the last time that he's on the sidelines.
And the Eagles had the football, right? And they were trying to ice away the game,
exactly.
But it wasn't necessarily like they were up 4 touchdowns. They were up 4 points in the final 3.5 minutes when he started jawing with the fans. Listen, if it does not work out this year in Philadelphia, see you, Nick Sirianni. You're no longer going to be there, because there is not really one thing that you can point to as a CEO head coach where you're not involved in the offensive game plan, when you're not an offensive genius like LaFleur or Shanahan or McVay or a defensive gritty guy. They are going to cast you aside very quickly. The Eagles still a 3-2 football team, and again, the favorites to win the NFC East and earn that playoff berth, but it's not necessarily the easiest walk to that. Plus 120 the price on Philadelphia. Joe, is it the end of an era as we turn our attention now to college football? You feel awful for this guy, Utah's quarterback, Cam Rising. A lower leg injury released yesterday that will end his season. He did not play the entirety of last year after an ACL 2 years ago in the Rose Bowl against Penn State. Upon further evaluation, says his head coach Kyle Whittingham, Cam Rising's injury has unfortunately been deemed season-ending. Any future developments concerning his collegiate eligibility, will be released at a later date. Joe, because he has played less than 4 games this year, he is eligible to at least apply for a medical red shirt once again in an 8th year in college football. We shall see. It is a very difficult story for a guy oft injured during his time in college football.
Well, it's good news, Utah. It's now the Isaac Wilson era. Congratulations there. That should be great, Utah. Yeah, what is he, 25 now, Ben? He's already there 7 years, no? He's
7 years. Yep. Utah, the preseason favorites in the Big 12, 18-1 to win the conference now.